What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition on a Wednesday.
Ooh.
Howdy do. We got a great episode for you. A lot going on in the world of, in our world, pop culture.
The world of pop culture.
Reality TV. Mm-hmm. Worlds are colliding. Reality TV stars are stars. Mm-hmm. As evident by Vulture magazine, or more importantly, the Met Gala.
Yeah.
On the same day, Vulture magazine highlighted a bunch of, well, it really was just a focus on reality TV stars, talking about like how like it used to be like people were talking about all those HBO Sunday night shows, and that would be the water cooler talk, and now it's really just your favorite reality TV stars and shows are really entering the zeitgeist of real celebrity. Mm-hmm. Which is, it's cool. Like, I've been in this space for, I don't know, a long time. And, like, honestly, it's fun to, like, it's nice not to always be the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
And it is nice to, get a little credibility in the space that we operate so much. But on the same day that the release of that Vulture piece, which, go check it out, I was very flattered to be included in a really great cast. But I think it more than just the people recognized, like, obviously Andy Cohen and Kathy Hilton, Lindsay Hubbard, Jessi Draper, I think it was really about a celebration of all reality TV stars. And honestly, like, it almost seems silly to say the work they put in, but just really the vulnerability and just like really sacrificing their lives in some ways, some more than others. But on the same day, we have the Met Gala. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe the previous years, but we had Sierra Miller, we had Brawin there. Any other? I mean, that's two. I mean, two more than I feel like any other. Was Ariana Madix there?
No. Did you see also that allegedly Alandria was invited to the Met Gala and then
I thought she was going.
And then uninvited like day of. Like she didn't show. Well, the makeup artist like posted a whole thing being like, we prepped all of this stuff, but like nothing happened and she wasn't there. So like speculation is that she was uninvited or like something happened.
No way. There's no way she was uninvited.
Like she was done dirty is the speculation.
I do know there are a lot of people who chose not to go to the Met Gala this year.
But that wouldn't have been a
like the makeup artist and everybody was there already.
Go.
Oh.
I mean, like, it's someone who is, I'm not your like typical Met Gala fan, so to speak, but ever since I became aware of its existence, and that was a long time ago, as a reality TV star, and you see these like major celebrities go to this like what seems to be this really cool party. I don't know if it's actually cool, but like it feels cool. It seems cool. Exclusive. And as someone in my position, it's hard not to be like, I wonder if I could ever like get invited to something like this. You know, it always felt like something unobtainable.
Yeah.
For someone in my shoes. And it probably still is, quite frankly, for me. But people in our space, it's become like,
it's wild, yeah.
It's a realistic opportunity, which is, I think, really fascinating and cool.
Well, what's interesting is when influencers were invited to the Met Gala, a la James Charles, Liza Koshy, like they got a lot of heat because they're like, why are influencers here? But
pioneers.
But then like the reality TV stars that are there, nobody's questioning it. They're just like, they've elevated past.
Well, yeah, because I think those influencers we're all part of the same space.
Yeah,
Influencers, TV stars. It's kind of like this kind of lower tier celebrity of like someone call us talentless.
Well, it's like high and low art, whatever. You know?
But I think it's kind of cool and fascinating to have Brawin and Sierra Miller there. And the Alandria is like,
we don't know much about it. It's all coming through the makeup artist. So people
if I could pick one reality TV star that would seamlessly fit into that crowd, would be Alandria.
Yeah. I mean, she has been she's been diving headfirst into all of this fashion stuff.
And she's so good at it.
And she's so good at it. It makes complete sense for her to be there.
And unlike most reality TV stars who feel like we have to lead with our mess, our vulnerability, our like kind of, we almost have to really kind of give of ourselves. Alandria has done it in more of a traditional celebrity path where it's just more like the mystery of her.
Well, Nick Van Steenberg, who is, I guess, still dating Alandria. I don't know. Anyways, but he was part of
the Vulture piece.
And kind of came out being like, hey, I flew to New York. I like stood there half undressed, which why were a lot of y'all undressed?
Yeah.
Was that a play
People
on
got
words?
mad that I had my shoes off.
I was going to ask about the dogs being out.
Honestly, what's funny about that reaction, it felt very like, nope, I'm still a reality TV star, because like the way the way reality TV stars get blamed for shit that's not like, they're like, yeah, fine, fuck it, I'll do it, right? You know?
Oh, I didn't think it was your choice to go in there without shoes
yeah,
on.
sure.
I
you
thought it
want
was cute. That was like yours.
It was just
And
funny.
then people are like speaking to me as if I walked in
It was-
without shoes and said, I'm not wearing shoes today. Fuck you.
It's because
Yeah.
they also saw yours and Lindsay Hubbard's where she was in a full dress and didn't see the rest of the photos where
Yeah.
the whole point and the theme was like undressed Hollywood-esque, like
Is that what it was?
It's like
yeah,
the
they put me in a
vulnerability and the
tuxedo,
realness.
but it was like there was no
Yeah.
tie and it was kind of half unbuttoned and it was like, do you want to go no shirt? I was like, I'm not in no shirt shape kind of.
And then they were like,
and
dogs
they were like,
out.
well, then
I was like,
take your shoes off.
And I
Yeah.
was like, my wiki feet, I got like, I'm like a 4.9. So I was
And
like,
you got
yeah,
your
I'm
shoes
still
off.
in good feet shape.
Yeah.
Well, Nick came out and basically gave this statement. Do we have it, Justin? I don't have
yeah.
it
Well,
right now.
so in his Vulture article, he basically said, smile and shake my hand and then write some shit like that, ? That's what he said in response to it. And like the points that stood out was, it was the wording that they used in certain parts of his article where they said, the king of those clips was Nick Van Steenberg, the baffled mind behind the inescapable mommy mamacita meme stemming from his utter inability to process the idea that his co-star Huda Mustafa is the mother of a child. There was another part where it basically said, Van Steenberg is now pursuing the most tried and true reality side hustle, DJ for hire. Like they were just using a lot of different words. By the middle of the season, the fandom had coalesced around painting him with co-star Alandra. Never mind that, they didn't seem to more than friendly colleagues at first. Like they're just using a lot of different words that are like
Well, you know what's funny though?
kind
is
of
like
critical.
when they wrote about me, they reminded me and the audience that some people over the years and throughout my life have viewed me at times as condescending.
Oh.
Fair. Working on it, obviously, always trying to be like self-aware of myself. But I also find it funny because when I read these pieces, even about myself or my peers, the people who watch or listen, it's like I've never read anything about myself that didn't felt condescending towards me. Where it's just always like, you know, you like them, but you hate them. It's just like,
Yeah. Well, it's also, you're reading it from a writer who's, you know, trying to bring in multiple different aspects about like a person and has an angle, not in like a good or bad
and
way.
when
It's
you're
just like the
being
reality.
interviewed by your more traditional journalists,
Yeah.
they're having this kind of journalistic approach
Mhm.
where it's just like trying to figure us out.
It's David
Not
Attenborough.
necessarily wanting to give us
Yeah.
the benefit of the doubt, but kind of reluctantly doing it. So it's like, yeah, reading that stuff about Nick, it's like there's always like a dig with every compliment sometimes. But again, listen, we're not quite there yet. It's still a process.
Mhm.
We are still working to be accepted.
I think it's the cheekiness is the way to put it. I think
Yeah.
he was caught off
Yeah.
guard, like, oh, that's the way you wrote it. Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I
wonder-
guess. Like,
yeah.
sure.
I wonder what
Thanks.
you guys what you guys think about this, because I feel like the beauty of reality TV stars kind of entering into mainstream pop culture in this way is that with a lot of celebrities, there is this aspect of everything needs to be taken seriously. Everything is very like pristine prestige. And then which is kind of like the high, low art, whatever. Like it's this high art, but then like the reality is it's all the same and it's all entertainment. And so, and fun stuff is fun stuff. So when you get reality TV stars in here, there's this kind of like cheekiness to everything because it's this self-aware aspect of the way you're writing. And it's like, we know this is typically your whatever trash TV, quote unquote, but it's awesome and people love it. And these people are very talented at what they do. So it creates this like interesting kind of
Yeah, we have a long way to go because
Anyway.
again, like the way like influencers and reality TV stars are recognized is again through that vulnerability, and like through that vulnerability, I think fans see that as like an open door to critique, criticize, judge, and which is interesting because I think your more traditional celebrities, like for example, we have Jay Ellis on the show that was on yesterday, a fascinating guy, very talented actor. He's on Running Point. He's in a lot of great stuff. It's All Her Fault, Top Gun 2, and you know, Jay coming in here again, like. Sometimes when we have someone like Jay on, it's always like, man, I wonder how much he wants to open up. Does he just want to talk about his project, you know? And it's always like, I'm always like unsure. But I do think people like Jay or other more traditional celebrities are now seeing that like for people to kind of get to know you and follow your career, you do, you know, you have to open up. You have to like talk about like, you have to endear yourself
like the parasocial
to the audience, because that parasocial relationship matters more than it did like 20 years ago. You could be an actor, you know, a celebrity. You could show up, do your press tours in between your movie that you do once or twice a year. They would only see that. They'd only see these clips, and you would only just be that mystery. And that is very difficult, I think, in the grand scheme of things for most celebrities to be recognized. And now, what does celebrity mean? There's everything is niche, you know, and things like that. So you're now seeing a lot of more traditional celebrities try to, when they're doing press, like be willing to open up, doing more podcasts or talking about things in their lives, their concerns, parenthood, you know, insecurities and things like that. So it's all kind of fascinating the way it all is all coming together.
Going back to the Met Gala, I read that there's like obviously so many rules, and like we've known that there's no phones allowed for some time. Obviously there's like the iconic bathroom photos, but there's also they don't seat you with your partner because they want to like encourage new conversations, new
like
connections,
church.
Kind of.
You
Yeah.
know, you know
They
when they take,
also-
you know, the well,
peace be sharing the peace.
yeah, the peace, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
say
peace
hi
be
to your
with you.
neighbor.
Peace
Peace be with you.
Peace be with you.
I haven't been to church in a minute.
They
forgot.
also don't serve with their
Communion.
food. They don't they don't serve garlic or onion. Obviously, they don't want anyone to have bad breath.
Oh.
They also don't put any small herbs or green
Teeth.
onion because they don't want anyone to get anything in their teeth.
Guessing they don't serve Oreos either.
Is this all confirmed? I'm not denying
This
you.
is
This
what-
is very
yeah, I mean-
fascinating.
Are these rumors or?
Well, I
This
don't
wasn't
know.
like some blogger
No
that
everything
posted. It was
bagels.
like an actual. I don't remember.
I
the
believe it. I'm
name
just
of the
intrigued
account,
by
but
this.
Yeah, and then it was like obviously there's no smoking. There's like this iconic photo of
Well, there's a smoking section. That's
of
why.
someone, maybe Bella Hadid or some, I don't know, someone like smoking in the bathroom and like everyone's sitting around them. You get like the smallest amount of time with Anna Wintour, and every guest gets it, and it's at the top of the stairs. She like greets everyone.
Yeah.
And that's like your one moment with Anna Wintour.
Is she still doing that?
I think so.
I think so.
Okay.
She interestingly wore basically the same dress, different color that she wore.
She's always done that though. Anna doesn't come in the dress code like super.
So
I
proud.
feel
I mean,
like
no,
it's, like,
neither does anyone.
I love that.
You love that? This is her whole. What do you mean? She's not even gonna participate?
But she's not.
It's very much like
she's
I'm not
the
like you
coordinator.
guys. I'm
You know what I mean?
above.
Yeah.
It's
She's
like,
the
like, I'm
stylist.
it's like
gonna wear what
dance
I
monkey
want.
dance. I'm gonna make you
Yeah.
wear some weird shit, but I'm just
Yeah, and I'm just gonna
gonna
look
count.
chic as fuck.
Yeah.
She does participate, but yeah, it's not to the same level
It's
of
not.
like.
You know who was at the Met Gala?
Who?
Blake Lively.
She
Mm,
was.
she was.
I was honestly surprised. I was surprised to see her.
Well, on the heels, on the same day that was announced, a lot, you know, and we do have Emily D. Baker joining us momentarily to help us break down, because what was also announced yesterday is that there was, to my big surprise, because I honestly thought this was going to go to court, that Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni settled their case. Now, I imagine, like everyone out there, what does that mean? I don't know.
I
honestly.
purposefully did not read one article. I said, you know what? I'm going to hear it from the
Emily D.
smartest
Baker.
person I know.
Yeah, same.
Emily D. Baker.
What does it mean for a settlement? It was Blake suing Justin. I know they've both
Yeah.
sued each other, but his court case has dropped. But we have Emily D. Baker momentarily to help us break this down. What does it all mean? But it is fascinating and interesting to see, like on that same day, it seems like Blake is ready to move forward with her life, get back out there, put this all behind her. You know, and I'm sure her critics will say one thing, her supporters will say another. I am very curious about what we can take away from what this settlement, if anything. And we do have Emily D. Baker joining us in just a moment. We also have Tom Schwartz with us, following Emily Baker to catch up with him. We got the Valley. He is now a member of the Valley cast, and the season is it's getting going.
We're getting somewhere.
I am curious of his thoughts on the summer house of it all. He is adjacently connected, obviously being a figure of Scandival. But I honestly am more interested in like kind of, again, that parasocial relationship. And when it comes to this stuff, you know, knowing how TV shows are made, specifically Bravo, I always think there's like an element that we as fans are not privy to in terms of how much do these stars have to like keep their mouths shut about certain things in production that may or may not somehow lead to the decisions that are made, in the sense that like we have Schwartz on the Valley kind of loosely flirting with Michelle.
A little bit more than loosely.
His friend Jessi Lawley, his ex-wife,
Mm-hmm.
kind of giving kind of summer house coded, but like
Honest.
Jessi doesn't seem to mind. But also, like, would this happen organically, or is it happening because they're all part of the same cast. And like in high school, you roam in these small groups. And then like because of the proximity, it's like, well, I mean, you're here and you're single. And I guess, I don't know, even though you were married to my friend. And I'm just curious how much, if anything, that sometimes lead to these decisions and these conflicts and drama that we're getting from the Summer House scandal. So I'm looking forward to catch up with Tom. Anyways, Emily D. Baker is ready. She's ready to go. She's here. So let's get to Emily Baker. Before we get to Emily D. Baker, I just want to remind you that Viall Files Plus is ad-free. All your favorite Viall Files episodes are ad-free on Viall Files Plus. Plus, you get additional bonus content like our reality recap deep dives where we dive deep into all the topics on your favorite reality TV shows and trending topics going on in the world of reality TV. Plus, your pop culture roundup where we get into all your favorite pop culture topics and some just kind of random messy topics. Also, your update special where we get your favorite updates and all your favorite Ask Nick callers. So if you need a little bit more Viall Files in your life, go to viallfiles.com to sign up for Viall Files Plus. You'll be glad that you did.
Well,
we were driving home from the doctor's office today, and Natalie reminded me that this Sunday is Mother's Day. And I said, oh, shoot.
He said, really?
Really?
This Sunday?
This one coming up. And if you're like me, and you probably are, and you got a mother in your life, whether it's your lovely wife, your mom, your godmother, your neighbor who's motherly. For all the moms out there, don't forget that Mother's Day is this weekend. And if you have not thought of the mothers in your life, well, then we have a gift for you. It's 1-800-Flowers. Flowers are the number one gift to give Mother's Day. And 1-800-Flowers is helping people deliver those last-minute gifts directly to the people that you love.
And right now, when you order 1 dozen roses from 1-800-Flowers, they'll double your bouquet to 2 dozen. For free. Twice the flowers for the mom who gives everything. For more than 50 years, 1-800-Flowers has perfected the details that matter most. Every bouquet is picked at peak freshness, carefully packaged, and backed by a freshness guarantee, so you're not receiving some wilted flowers at your doorstep. 1-800-Flowers knows many of us procrastinate, and they've been saving their customers with same-day delivery for years. Even if May 9th snuck up on you, they can still make May 10th count.
Mother's Day is this Sunday, May 10th, and bouquets are selling out fast. Trust me, don't wait to claim your double roses offer before they're gone. Visit 1-800-Flowers.com/VIALL. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/VIALL. One more time, 1-800-Flowers.com/VIALL.
This podcast is sponsored by Brodo. Brodo's bone broth is the simplest nutrition upgrade you can make to your daily routine. Their broths are made from scratch, no concentrates, preservatives, or shortcuts, so you get the best broth money can buy.
If your morning coffee isn't cutting it lately, start your day with something amazing. Our next sponsor makes bone broth that hydrates, nourishes, and wakes you up without spiking your nerves or blood sugar. If you hit that mid-afternoon energy crash, you know the routine. Another coffee or a snack that maybe just doesn't help, well, you don't need that. Maybe you need a better option in your life, and that better option is Brodo. It's perfect for the morning drink and to get your day going. It's an amazing mid-afternoon snack. Natalie often uses bone broth when she's making river macaroni and cheese. It has great nutrients for you and your kids.
Brodo was launched by James Beard, award-winning chef Marco Canara. 11 years ago, he started serving bone broth out of a window in his New York City restaurant. Now Brodo ships nationwide, so you don't have to be in New York City to enjoy Chef Marco's masterpiece. They have about 10 grams of whole food protein along with collagen-building amino acids, electrolytes, and nutrients to support gut health, immunity, joints, skin, and general wellness, all under 50 calories and with 0 sugar or fat. Shop the best broth on the planet with Brodo. Head to brodo.com/VIALL for 20% off your first subscription order and use code VIALL for an additional $10 off. Once again, that's brodo.com/VIALL for 20% off your first subscription order and an additional $10 off if you use our promo code VIALL.
This one's for all my TV lovers. My Entertainment from DirecTV gets you 60 plus channels and Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max all in one pack. But here's the thing, with so much great TV in My Entertainment, you're going to want to talk about everything you've been watching. Just remember that your friends might not be as well watched as you. Don't be a spoiler, and encourage them to get My Entertainment for just $34.99 a month. Go to directv.com/genre packs and sign up today. New customers only. Service renews monthly unless canceled. Credit card required. Conditions apply to all apps. HBO Max Basics with ads begin after DirecTV 5-day trial. Learn more at directv.com. Restrictions apply. Emily, welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
So good to see y'all. Lots of law been going on lately.
Lots
I
of
know.
law.
It's great to be here.
Lots of law going
Lots of
on, and we
law.
very much appreciate you being our, we'll call you our unofficial legal correspondent, but, maybe we can call you our official.
We'll
I don't
make it
know.
official one of these days.
We are so appreciative of you and what you do, Emily, and our audience loves you. It's always fascinating and interesting to get your legal perspective as someone who's also just a fan of the same things that we're a fan of. But as we talked about before you joined the show, Justin and Blake Lively, I don't know if they announced it, but it was announced that they had settled just right before their court case was scheduled to go to court, I think in May. So we were it seemed like just a few weeks away. There's that old saying that deadlines spur action. It seems like maybe that played a role in this as well. I think a lot of people were surprised on both sides, myself included. I really thought this would go to court. I felt like Blake seemed determined to really see this thing through, but maybe everyone's surprised they had decided to settle. And I think now a lot of people who have followed this case almost feel a little like, I hate to say disappointed, because they had followed it so much. And when it comes to a settlement, it's like, hey, we settled.
It's over.
And then it's like, well, what did you settle on? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Did someone win? Did someone not win? I feel like everyone's claiming victory, depending on what side they kind of fell on. But could you give us a little insight into what this all means from a legal standpoint, and what can we take or learn, if anything, from this announcement of their settlement?
I love a good what if anything. It's difficult with settlements because it does feel like everything comes to a screeching halt because we're not behind the scenes. We don't see how much the lawyers are discussing, negotiating. We don't know how long they've been talking. But we do know that when Judge Lyman posted his 100 and almost 50-page order on the motions for summary judgment, it did give everyone an off-ramp. He didn't hold back on how he saw the evidence and how he saw the case, and it gives the lawyers new footing to go talk to the parties and say, look, this is what we're actually looking at for trial, and candidly, the conversation of how much that will actually cost, which is going to be possibly tens of millions of dollars total. So not only are you looking at what's going to come out at trial realistically now that they know what the shape of the evidence is, but they know how much it's going to cost. And that can bring people to the table and give them an off-ramp in a different way. And then it probably took quite a lot of legal wrangling back and forth with the lawyers to get a joint statement out, because these parties have been so at odds for so long. Trying to put out any type of agreed statement with the lawyers is a really difficult and deeply negotiated thing, because we're probably not going to hear any more about this case from any of the parties, from any official sources, from the lawyers, because that settlement agreement's going to have NDAs, and those NDAs are going to have monetary amounts if they're violated. If it's violated, that money damages, that money amount just snaps right into place. But they haven't filed notice of settlement with the court yet. So if the judge woke up this morning and is like, I hear we don't have a trial, where is the filing on the docket? It's not on the docket yet. I expect we'll see that sometime today, but it's still not there. And other things were filed yesterday, Monday, May 4th. So I'm waiting to see the official notice of settlement. I'm waiting to see how long they ask for. Sometimes parties need time to get the terms of the settlement executed. That can be exchanging money, that can be exchanging documents, that can be all kinds of things. But if they don't need that period of time, it might mean that this is just a mutual walkaway where everybody says, I will not sue you over anything. I will not continue to sue you over anything. We're all going our own directions. This is the mutual statement. Done.
So there's a world where this settlement means almost like everyone just agreed to just say, you know what, just kidding.
Yes.
That's wild. I don't feel like
there is a world where everybody just said, we're not going to sue you anymore. We're not going to resume suing you. Everything that happened, no one's going to sue anymore over anything. We're never going to talk about it again. Keep your name out of my mouth and walk away. That's possible.
Is it also, and then what are the other possibilities, I guess? Like my non-legal sense is more like, I was on the impression, okay, so it was Blake suing Justin. Justin was suing Blake in the past, but that was dismissed. So his case against her was thrown out or whatever.
Yes.
So, and then part of her case was also dismissed, but she's still, which I always consider the most important part of this case was the retaliation. That was the thing I was most fascinated by, because as someone who, in a weird, in a way operates in the space, like the way you're seeing bots and the way discourse seems to be influenced online. I feel like this is a real thing. It's a dangerous thing that involves everything. And I was really fascinated by that. Is there a world where Justin's side did agree to pay Blake's side a certain amount of money because they thought, okay, well, you know what? This will cost us less in the long run, and we'll just agree. Is there any and is there also any world where Blake did have to pay Justin some money?
There is a world where money could have exchanged hands. I don't know if either party would have been amenable to that with how negotiated this settlement agreement is. But there's a world where that happened, because at the end of the day, Blake Lively had to stop her lawsuit. She has to file the motion to dismiss. His has already been dismissed. Though I guarantee you in a settlement, they're going to agree that he, the PR company, and his companies aren't going to bring any further lawsuits against Blake Lively, any of her companies, and probably Ryan Reynolds as well, since he had originally been sued by Baldoni and those parties. And the decision maker in this is Wayfarer. And yes, Baldoni is a part owner of Wayfarer, but that company was the only defendant left in addition to the PR. So Baldoni had already really been removed from the suit as an individual, given the way that the court ruled on the motion for summary judgment. So Wayfarer had to make those agreements to walk away. So technically it would be, yes, the company Wayfarer could have paid Lively. Yes, Lively could have paid the company, though more unusual for the party suing to pay to settle once they're in litigation, because the massive benefit from the party suing is withdrawing that lawsuit and not going to trial. Then again, defendants also have to agree to settle. But one of the interesting parts of that could be whether or not Wayfarer was operating partly through their insurance, because insurance companies can have a lot of very strong opinions about whether something's going to trial or not and whether a settlement agreement will be accepted. So if the company's operating through some of their, errors and omissions or liability insurance, insurance could have also had a hand in encouraging the company to settle once, of course, the plaintiff, Lively, was willing to also settle.
So I want to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying. So let's say they had the evidence, that was kind of laid out, like you said, and no doubt Wayfarer and they all have insurance. And assuming Wayfarer's insurance provider was like, yo, we think, based on what we're coming up with, you're at risk of owing this much, which sounds like we're going to have to write that check to a certain amount. So could the insurance company encourage Justin to settle and say, we'll pay you this much, so go ahead and settle this case, and if you want to just have us handle it, because maybe the insurance company is thinking this will save us money, and then encouraging Justin and his team and Wayfarer or whatever to settle because, they're letting him know what their limits are, so to speak?
Could absolutely be involved in that decision-making process if they are also covering part of the cost of the litigation. So yeah, insurance companies, if you think of it in context of a car accident, like litigation, and your car insurance is like, okay, well, we'll pay for this, but we also can make the agreement to settle this. It's not dissimilar. It's just a much larger scale where insurance can be involved in those decisions. I don't know if that happened here because we've seen privately retained counsel clearly, but it is possible that that is one of the other things running in the background that's not really largely being accounted for in the conversation, is that right now the last defendant standing are companies, and those companies are going to have insurance companies looking at them going, this is a good settlement offer, figure out whatever the joint statement is, and we're going to be done. And honestly, a lot of people I'm sure are going to wonder, why did we have to get up to the eve of trial? Like, jurors were coming in next week for jury selection, because we don't know what evidence is actually going to trial until those last evidentiary rulings happened. Once all those rulings happen, you now can look at the case and be like, this is what a jury's going to see. And then you can really make a fair assessment of who's at risk and where. And all parties had risk of exposure here. I know not everybody's going to agree with that. You never know what's going to happen at jury trial. All parties have risk of exposure. and they're going forward on the retaliation claim. And that is contractually based, which means it could be that a jury looks at the contract and said, you agreed not to retaliate. We've got this text saying we can bury anyone. And there's going to be some jurors being like, yeah, that looks like retaliation to me. So you have a case based on a contract dispute going to the jury. And then because it's on retaliation, all of the text messages behind the scenes are all going to come up. And the question is really focused on, did they retaliate against Blake Lively in any way, violating their agreement to not do so? And it's civil. Jurors don't have to be unanimous. So there's a lot of risk there for all parties.
This is kind of surprising to me because I don't feel like it was ever about money. Like I don't feel like that's what
For Blake's side.
for
of
Blake's
things?
side. Like Blake wanted money from Wayfair, from Justin to feel like she, had won or what. Like I feel like in the settlement, there's got to be some sort of admit of like wrongdoing. For it just doesn't make sense to me that it would just be like money motivated.
I agree with you.
Right? Isn't that weird?
Well, I agree that it wasn't money motivated. I think, though, the decision can be money motivated because looking at filing a lawsuit and looking at how much money you're laying out for trial are two very different things. So going to trial and spending the millions and millions and millions for trial is going to be a part of that consideration. But also, I always think discovery was a huge part of this case. Knowing what was going on behind the scenes is a big part of that. And that part of the case has been completed. And I don't think we're going to see any other admissions other than what's in the joint statement. And the joint statement did indicate, we all agreed that Blake brought claims that deserved to be heard. I think that's about as much of an acknowledgement as we're going to see. And then the end of that statement asking for things going forward on social media to be more peaceful.
I talked to you offline a while back talking about this case, Emily, and you said something. You talked about plaintiff fatigue, I think was the term you used, or something to that effect. And I thought that was really interesting, and I'd love for you to shed more light on it. But like you were just, just the emotional toll, the psychological toll these court cases take on everyone, and again, depending on where you land on this thing, it seems like a lot of defendants in these types of sexual harassment cases or things like that the defendants can be ultra aggressive in their defense and attacking the character of the plaintiff and things like that. And I think sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong, what you were basically telling me is that like it's one thing to like start a case and obviously feel like you really have the facts in your favor, and then you move forward, and then things kind of snowball and fans get involved, and all of a sudden a year later it just becomes a toll on your overall well-being, your mental health, your family, and things like that. And it sounds like you're basically saying like these plaintiffs, and maybe it's part of a strategy of the defense to kind of wear them down to a point where they're the reason they chose to fight it, and maybe it wasn't money motivated. Maybe the calculus changes for the plaintiffs where they take a step back and say, all right, like I had my heels dug in, I was ready to fight, but maybe it's not worth it. I don't know. Is it something like that where that often plays a role in these types of cases?
I mean, in any civil litigation, lawyers will try to explain exactly what it's going to be like. But there are some things you can't understand all the cost to yourself that it's going to take until you are walking through it, and oftentimes until after deposition, because your lawyers are going to look at you at the end of a 6 or 8 hour deposition and be like, okay, now we're going to do that for 4 days while you're on the stand in front of a jury. And you cannot lose your temper, and you cannot snap at the lawyer. And that is the lawyer that's going to cross-examine you. And now you know what that feels like. Now you know what the evidence looks like. Now you know what they're going to say. And if they convince enough jurors, then where do we cut our losses? And that's for both sides, because both sides have to be willing to settle. The defense can say, we're not settling. You brought us all the way here. We're going to keep going. And the plaintiff can do the same. But at some point, the feeling shifts from, yes, I'm going forward with this lawsuit, to the reality of living with going to trial is very different after you've done depositions. And plaintiffs do become fatigued. And we see that in all different types of cases where defense delay becomes part of the strategy. I don't think we've seen that here. I think the defense has pushed this case forward pretty quickly, to their credit. But yes, of course, the defense is going to be aggressive. They feel that they've been dragged into court wrongly, and they're going to let everyone know it. But it's not comfortable being cross-examined in court, and you never know what 12 jurors or 8 jurors are going to do.
Yeah.
So once you've experienced that and lived with the lawyer bills coming to your house every month, the fatigue of a thing can also help with settlement. But also, I really think that summary judgment ruling gave an off-ramp because the judge pointed out the strengths and weaknesses of both cases, and it gave everyone somewhere to come to the table and have a conversation about where you're exposed. And then you just have to have really a very strategic conversation of best case, worst case. And not all clients can hear that early on in a case because it's going to be different for them. And their case is different than every other case. And they don't know yet. But once you've been through litigation, a lot of people are like, if we can just walk away from this, I'm ready for it to stop. And that very much might be where both parties are. And I'm sure everybody wants to walk away and be done. But a lot of the damage in this case has already been done. And we're going to keep seeing stuff get unsealed from court because we're that close to trial that unsealed documents are coming up. And maybe everything will get sealed again as part of the settlement. We don't know yet because notice of settlement hasn't been filed. But it's damaging to have unsealed documents in court. But it's far more damaging to have those people come in and testify day after day after day. Plus, look at the witnesses we're talking about. Sony executives, other celebrities. This ropes in a ton of other people, and that has to be part of the calculation too. Do you really want to bring in all of the Sony executives into court, in federal court in New York, and expose all of their emails too? At what point is it better to not have to bring all of those witnesses in?
Yeah. One final question about this case, and then I want to get into some of the Mormon wives stuff. When you mention about the gag order or just the NDA that they all agreed to, it feels like throughout this case things have been leaked. I don't know on both sides. Certainly, I feel like on Justin's side, his team has its tentacles on a lot of online contributors. That's just really my opinion. But I guess my question is I feel like we live in a world where one person will be like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to honor my NDA, but they'll find a way to get information out through third parties. How does a court handle something like this where you never hear anything from Justin or her side, you never hear anything from Blake or her side, but what if things do get out in the zeitgeist of the internet? Will these parties be held liable? And you know what I'm saying? How could they police that or honor that if it's somehow all of a sudden Pierce Morgan, I don't know, is on his show and he starts I got some tea about this case, because he's been also so many people are covering it. What does that look like if, people start speaking out and saying they have some information?
Well, one of the things that's hard with this case is that there are so many documents. I'm sure there are things that have been filed on the public docket that people haven't unearthed yet just because it's hundreds of thousands of pages of documents that have been unsealed. So people can continue to go and dig through those if they don't all get resealed, but they've already been out. So resealing it is kind of like trying to put the shit back in a horse. It's not going to work. So when you are looking at post-settlement, it's up to the lawyers. And you still have your lawyers on retainer, and the lawyers have to start to sort out enforcement of that settlement agreement. And that can end up back in court in separate litigation for breach of the settlement agreement. But that becomes a new litigation on breach of the settlement agreement. And it can start things all over again.
Yeah.
But I imagine that we won't see, Brian Friedman, one of the lawyers for the Wayfarer parties, has given a lot of interviews. I imagine we won't see many interviews regarding this. And if he's interviewed regarding other cases, because he's still the lawyer in the Scandival lawsuit. He's one of the lawyers in that lawsuit. So if he's talking about other things and somebody asks about this, I imagine his statement is going to be, everyone reached a mutual settlement agreement and we released a public statement. And I have no further comment.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like we'll be seeing Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, or Ryan, or doing any sit-down interviews talking about this case anytime soon or ever.
or ever, because those settlement agreements generally will be in perpetuity, which means no one can talk about it ever. And we already know that they've gone through lengths to dig up who's communicating with who, how they're communicating. There's tons of discovery in this case that will never see the light of day. And the lawyers will continue to be mindful of that and then go enforce those settlement agreements. Those things normally happen between lawyers and never get into a courtroom. But there are cases where settlement agreement and breach of settlement agreement does end up right back in court. But that breach of contract's a pretty easy case if it's one of the main parties. When it becomes I have a source and then somebody's just talking, that can become a little more nuanced to dive into. But that's where you get into subpoenas and discovery and a whole new case.
Seems like the lawyers won.
The lawyers absolutely won.
Yeah.
I said it at the beginning of this case. I'm like, the lawyers are going to win. Everyone else is going to lose because it's so messy. So much has been unearthed in this case. And there are things that are unflattering to all parties. And many will have opinions on who it's more unflattering to.
Sure.
And that's fine. But there is unflattering things that come up in a lawsuit on all sides. And both parties thought that they had more to lose or they wouldn't have settled. That uncertainty of a jury, it is better for all parties, I think, to be able to put down the lawyers and walk away. And though getting money from the other party might not have been the motive here, it's really real when you look at the actual cost of trial with a jury coming in a week.
Yeah.
It just sometimes takes right up to the end for parties to go, you know what, you're right. It's time to walk away.
Because I feel like when this all started, I feel like, I don't know, that I don't think they ever thought it would go this far, either of them. There was that New York Times piece that was released at the end of the year, and that almost felt like Blake's side kind of speaking her truth, and it seemed to be a far different narrative than what everyone thought. And then all these lawsuits started happening, and then it became almost like a tit for tat, and it kind of I felt like it almost snowballed, where as if they never really thought it would get this far anyways, but it just kind of kept going and going, and they dug their heels in, and it sounds like maybe right before court, I guess what cooler heads prevailed, I guess, I don't know, is the saying.
I think one of the things I've been critical of in this lawsuit particularly was how overblown the filings got, especially in the beginning. The very first filing by Lively was a pretty standard federal court complaint. Then again, she already had the New York Times article that had a lot of her side of the story. So then when Baldoni's side comes in with their side, it is not just a allegations complaint. It is screenshots, receipts, timelines. It is a very overwrought complaint with quite a lot of information in it. But I think strategically, the lawyers aren't trying to, impress one another. They are trying to get their side of the story out to the public as well. And I think very early on, the Wayfarer lawyers took every opportunity in the filings to do that so that their side of the story was also getting pushed out very much through court documents. And the judge had actually admonished them once or twice, I think, about that. But everybody has really aired almost everything before witnesses come into court. So I think both sides have had quite a lot of information out in the public that wouldn't otherwise be there.
That would have been a tough jury to select.
It would have been a tough jury to select, but you will always find people who are like, wait, what? I've never heard that that's going on. But then again, that jury can skew a little bit older, and the tolerance for what's going on online can shift as your jury shifts, because you get a younger audience who's looking at some of the retaliation stuff and they're like, yeah, I just kind of figure that's what happens on social media. You get a slightly older audience and they're like, wait, people are doing what?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's wild. So
Are you calling me old?
Yeah.
I'm old. I'm calling me old. But you get a jury pool that hasn't heard of this case. Some of the allegations in this case that are going forward might also be more shocking to them.
Yeah. Fascinating, Emily. I really appreciate your perspective on this. Switching gears a little bit and taking your lawyer hat off and putting on your pop culture fan hat on.
We can't just even do pop culture with Mormon Wives because we've been in court so much on that case too.
Well, yeah, we're in court,
True.
but with the big question now is, will MomTok survive? Over the weekend,
Always a
TMZ
question.
released some audio from Jessi, which she has since addressed. And then Dakota entered the chat, and then Taylor entered the chat. And it seemed now we're like almost kind of a la Justin and Blake, where it was just like, we're getting outside of the courts and inside the court of public opinion, which they all seem to be trying to like curry favor with the audience. Basically, to summarize the leaked audio of Jessi was it Jessi talking to Dakota?
Yep.
And basically, it was just like, when this all came out, it seemed like, like a lot of the women didn't really know how to like react to this video. We are unsure who saw this video.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all can agree that like, however, I don't care if you're Taylor's mom, Taylor's friend, that this was a very disturbing and difficult video to watch. And it was sad and heartbreaking for everyone involved. I took it as that's kind of was Jessi's point of view, just wanting to see the video. And I think a lot of these women, when it first came out, were kind of scared and unsure how to speak on this. And that, it seemed like, was Jessi's motivation as part of this conversation, at least how I took it. And then Dakota entered the chat and basically trying to like accuse Jessi of kind of like being two-faced, or you're not really having Taylor's back, and kind of accusing Jessi of like changing tune now that like maybe public discourse has kind of shifted a little bit.
Well, and this voice memo leaked after Taylor's lawyers said that like Jessi had a conversation where he was basically going to take the embarrassment into his own hands, Dakota, to like go after Taylor. So that's where this memo came out after the fact.
Jessi's statement was something that the judge brought up in court that he was relying on based on what she said in her affidavit that Dakota had done. So the court mentioned it twice, I believe, during that hearing, that Jessi's statement to the court was something that he considered specifically in the things that Taylor brought forward with regard to trying to figure out the mutual protective orders. So it did play in court right before that audio came out through TMZ.
The thing that I don't really understand from Dakota's point of view, it's just like he seems to still be trying to convince Jessi, the audience, everyone, that there was no strategy on his end, that he is truly just a victim in all of this, and that he has nothing to do with these videos, and the timing of which it was released was all some big coincidence. And I just don't see how anyone at this point, and this is just my opinion, how they can believe that. We had you on not too long ago, Emily, talked about like, we know that Dakota is the owner of the IP of this video. It seems to be that there's a roommate somehow is like the scapegoat of, seems to be the one selling it to TMZ. It's just like, well, he's your roommate. How is he involved in this? Like, well, how did he get the video? And it's almost as if like Dakota's trying to gaslight anyone in thinking that like he's just a helpless bystander and he can't control if his roommate like goes into his room and goes into his phone and steals a video and like as if we're supposed to believe that.
And find a contact at TMZ.
And find a contact at TMZ. And
well, what's interesting is before this audio came out, you had Jessi go on her stories and say like, hey, just got a phone call. There's going to be some audio that's released. It's a voice memo that I sent to Dakota, and this is what it is. I've already talked to Taylor about it. I think all of this is just proving that he clearly has a contact at TMZ, and he is clearly providing them with all of this information to try and make himself look better.
Yeah. Which speaks to, again, this seems to be all about him trying to make himself look better and simultaneously make Taylor look bad. And I just didn't get for the life of me how he thinks that we're buying this story.
Didn't his lawyer say in court, he asked his publicist not to release the video?
His lawyer exactly said that. His lawyer said he gave the video to his publicist and asked them not to release it. His lawyer was still trying to kind of dance around some of the things that the court wanted to hear about with Dakota. And I think Jessi probably should have been wary if she had seen that he saved the voice memo when she sent it, because on the iPhone, you would see if it saved unless he recorded it as like a screen recording when he played it. So it doesn't show that the voice memo is saved. But also, why are we doing that much then?
Exactly.
Unless we're using it against somebody.
Also, that's kind of the point. He's releasing this video of Jessi, and it's just like, wait, we're supposed to believe that you strategically kind of set her up and threw her under the bus, but like you're not that type of guy who would do that in any other situation, including your ex-partner who you share a child with. And it's just like, well, which one are you? You know, are you it's like, which part of this are we supposed to believe? Also, like, if you asked your publicist not to release it, then they probably wouldn't have released it. They are your publicist.
I'm also
You paid
shocked that he has a publicist.
Well,
Literally.
I think that was a large sentiment. Everybody went, wait, what? But also, I imagine most publicists, especially when we were dealing with a video of a domestic violence incident where children are present, aren't going to play fast and loose with that. And even if the roommate sent it to TMZ, I can't imagine that legally they would put it out without having the copyright owner sign off on it. So at the end of the day, we know that Dakota had to sign off on that video becoming public on their child's birthday and the day he went to court. The timing is not coincidental. And to Taylor Frankie Paul's lawyer and her credit, their strategy was take responsibility for the things you've done, give context around the other things. And Dakota's strategy was, she's the problem. I'm not the problem. She needs a restraining order, not me. And I don't think the court was very persuaded by that. But yes, this Jessi voice note coming out after the court relied on Jessi's affidavit is not a coincidence.
And to that point, even if Jessi sent the voice note to Dakota's phone, in theory, Dakota's the owner of that voice note. So even if his roommate stole it or got into his phone, to your point, TMZ would still want to get Dakota's approval and sign off for releasing that voice memo, even if it was the roommate who called up TMZ and said, hey, I got this voice memo.
I mean, in theory, they could get Jessi's approval, but we don't think that's going to happen. So I can't see Jessi being like, oh, sure, that's super flattering for me. Let's go ahead and put it out there.
Is their case done, Taylor and Dakota's, or are they still like in court?
It's kind of done.
Okay.
So I have a question about what's going to happen with everybody reaching out to Jessi, because if they're making statements about each other publicly, they both have a no contact order, which is not just don't be within 100 feet of each other. It's do not talk about the other one. No comments through third parties. So they both now have mutual stay away orders for 3 years. The parenting time part of the case is not done yet. And then they still have a child custody case that is not done yet. So there is more going on that is going to keep going through the court system. And there is a open CPS case that is wrapping up because they're both getting support and services and evaluations. So the parenting stuff's not done. But yeah, they both have 3-year mutual protective orders. So there's no way they can film together. I don't know if she will want to go back to filming, but there's no way they can film together. They probably can't be on the show together because in confessionals, you would have to talk about the other and they're not allowed to do that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you see Dakota posted like some TikTok, some video, and Leanne, Taylor's mom, commented and said, I would just like to know who's watching ever.
Boy.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess she's allowed to, right? I mean, she doesn't have a she can.
I'm not talking about Taylor,
Yeah.
but it's going to come up because they still have a custody case and they still have a argument over how much Taylor gets to see ever. Because remember, Taylor's still on only supervised parental time, which is limited hours a day with a supervisor. And that right now is some family members. But he has 100% custody, which is a huge change because she had 70% custody up until he filed that temporary protective order on Ever's birthday and then took 100% custody.
Fascinating. I think is one thing that I think Dakota has failed to recognize. And I think this is why, obviously, again, we know that the video is disturbing. No one thinks it's anything other than terrible to see. But the reason why Taylor Frankie Paul has the fans that she has throughout this time is that, like, she's always been honest. She's always taken accountability. She's always owned her part. Now, you can critique how she's done that. You can say that's not enough, but she's always been willing to go there where it seems like Dakota's not. And he seems to have been caught in so many lies. And even now, it's just like he is publicly saying things that are, quite frankly, easily disproven. And I think over time, that's going to continue to work against Dakota because Taylor seems to be comfortable with acknowledging the role she has played in this mess. Like you said, that seems to be her team strategy, is to, like, not pretend that she has not done anything wrong, but offer that context where it's just like there is more to the story. And it just honestly seems a lot more believable than Dakota's side of things.
It's the court was very clear that no one is without blame in their relationship and had pretty strong words for both of them, almost in a both of you need to get it together and stop it. But he said that he found Dakota's behavior to be calculating, and he found Taylor to have absolutely no rein on her emotions. And it concerned the court that when she's provoked, it doesn't matter if her child is there, if her child's in Dakota's arms, that she does not snap out of it when she's going after him, even if the kids are around. And he found Dakota's behavior, that he's picking up his phone and filming her after she is responding, to be really concerning. That doesn't change that it's not okay to hit someone, but the court was like, you can't go hands-on with people and you cannot lose control while your children are around. And he should not and cannot be pushing your buttons. And when you get in a car driving away with the children in the home at night, you two both cannot do this. So I think everyone has to stay away from everyone is going to be tough over the next 3 years. And then the thing that they have that most cases don't have is that the entire internet is going to be scouring everything they do on social, being like, does that violate the protective order? Did you just violate the protective order?
Yeah.
Hey, I think they violated the protective order. The amount of emails their lawyers are going to get with tips from the internet is going to be persistent, I would imagine.
Wow.
So will MomTok survive this?
Will
I mean,
MomTok
hopefully
survive?
Dad Talk doesn't. That's just where I'm at.
So
Yeah.
true.
I hope Dad Talk
Mhm.
doesn't survive it. It just seems not to be. Really, it's just like they're not likable. I do think Mom Talk survive it. We'll obviously keep discussing it.
Nick, can I ask you one parting question as we go?
Yes,
Did you see in court that they talked about the lip tattoo?
I did. Yeah, and he claimed that it was for.
Did you know that happened when they were filming?
No.
No.
So it's on camera?
Apparently. Okay,
Oh
this
my
is what I wanted to ask
God.
you about, because you had asked me about the lip tattoo last time, and I was like, I haven't even heard of this. They bring up the lip tattoo in court, and Dakota's lawyer gets up there and says, Your Honor, it's not weird that he's getting her initials tattooed in his lip because all of the dads went to a tattoo parlor with the camera crew because they were filming.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So apparently that's part of season 5.
I guess.
It's crazy.
Well, the question is, will they air that? You know, because like, can they air that? Will they air
It's
that?
kind of case in point to the whole situation we're in.
Yeah,
Totally.
I also don't know if at this point I need to see all of Dad Talk going to get their lips tatted so they can be more talkative.
I also don't. I don't know. I'm curious how the courts would see that, but I again, this isn't scripted. This is reality TV, and I understand some things that they're doing scenes, but it's reality TV. People are in charge of their own decisions. No one made anyone get a tattoo, and no one made to get a certain tattoo or the placement of the tattoo and things like that. I feel like that would be a really bad defense, but I don't know how the courts would see it.
I thought it was interesting that the defense was, but Your Honor, they were filming. And I want to know whose idea it was to go to the tattoo parlors, because was it Jordan's? And why do I need to know that
100%
immediately?
it was
almost
Jordan's.
almost certainly
Jordan's.
Jordan's, 100%. He seems to be the producer of Dad Talk. Not a very good one,
Not a very good one.
but he does seem to be one. Emily, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate you. It's always fun talking with you, and we'll have to again always have you back, not just to talk legal, but to get into all your pop culture takes, because that's what we love about you, Emily. You're not only just an expert, you're also a fan.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so
Thanks,
much. Good
Emily.
to see you.
Thanks,
All right, bye-bye.
Emily.
Bye.
Bye. The easiest decision for me, the second I find out that I am pregnant, is which prenatal I'm going to take. And it is and always has been Ritual. I've taken Ritual for years. I have taken their multivitamin. I've taken their prenatal. I've taken their postnatal. I have taken every single thing that Ritual offers, and all of them are so good. They're all backed by science. Ritual is the #1 best-selling prenatal. They have the only leading prenatal backed by its own human clinical trial. Essential Prenatal was clinically proven to deliver key nutrients, including folate, biotin, and vitamin D. Moms taking Ritual had a lower overall cortisol level during pregnancy than those taking a leading prenatal. I definitely remember how sick I was in the first trimester and how I'm just not even able to smell anything or take anything. And I was so worried I wouldn't be able to take my prenatals. But with Ritual, they essence them in citrus and mint, so it doesn't smell weird. It doesn't taste bad. I love the citrus one because I'm just a citrus girly. They also designed to be easier to swallow, gentler on the stomach, and a better overall positive experience than those taking a leading prenatal. Their patented capsule is designed to dissolve in the small intestines, which is an optimal place to absorb nutrients. So do not settle
for less than evidence-based support. Save 25% on your first month at ritual.com/VIALL. That's ritual.com/VIALL for 25% off your first month.
There's something about spring that just screams refresh, restart, and trying something new. And if you have ever thought about learning a new language, you need to check out Rosetta Stone. Learning a new language can be such a great, fun hobby at any stage in life. And even if it's just maybe you got some travel plans coming up and maybe you're going to a new place where they don't speak the language that you speak, your experience traveling is always enhanced by just knowing a few key phrases with the country you're going to. It just makes that experience so much fun, more enjoyable. And you can do that with Rosetta Stone.
With 30 years of experience, millions of users, and 25 languages to choose from, including Spanish, French, German, Japanese, and more, Rosetta Stone is the go-to tool for real language growth. You can learn faster, retain longer. Rosetta Stone immerses you in your new language naturally, helping you think and communicate with confidence. They don't have English translations, so you really, truly learn to speak, listen, and think in your chosen language. An intuitive learning process. You start with words, you build to phrases, and you progress to full sentences. And it's designed for long-term retention, so what you learn sticks with you. They also are making you sound more natural with their true accent. It gives you real-time feedback on pronunciation, like having a personal coach. So you can learn anytime, anywhere. Rosetta Stone fits in your lifestyle with flexible on-the-go learning, whether you have 5 minutes or an hour. Knock out a new language with Rosetta Stone. Ready to start learning a new language this spring? Visit rosettastone.com/VIALL today to explore Rosetta Stone and choose the language that's right for you. Go to rosettastone.com/VIALL now and begin your language learning journey.
Always fascinating stuff from Emily Baker. Honestly, since she left, there's more and more information has come out. I also, it's funny because when we asked her about like the gag order or the NDA, where TMZ has since reported that like no money was exchanged. I don't know how they can figure that out that quickly, and if how also like how does that come from anywhere other than the people involved? I imagine we're gonna see more and more opinions, hot takes. My opinion hasn't changed, but you know.
I don't know. I forgot to ask Emily this, but I wonder if like with the settlement, part of it was just the realization that everyone, like with public opinion, in the court of public opinion, everyone's just kind of like, we're still, at least that's how I, like when I see headlines about it now, I'm like, oh my God, we're still
I think
doing
that's it a
this.
lot.
And
Again,
it's fatigue,
the
not
fatigue,
even of,
again, your friends get
yeah.
involved. It just,
it's just like, it's
as
not
someone who's
worth
never
it.
really been involved in something like this, you know,
Yeah.
you just hear stories of it. I think it's just, I think it consumes your whole life,
Mhm.
and at some point you have to make some very tough decisions on what's best, big picture and long term.
Mm-hmm.
I just, you know, I worry that it's just more of the same of someone trying to stand up for something and then quickly realizes how the world fights
Yeah.
against that.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. We also have Tom Schwartz coming up momentarily, and that's a very fun conversation. He has some stuff to say about Summer House. He actually hung out with Kyle and Carl
He did.
recently and has some interesting perspective. Plus, talking about obviously his time in the Valley, his new love in his life.
He's in love.
Truly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can see it on him.
Glowing.
You can even hear it in his voice if you're listening to the show.
Mm-hmm.
But before we do, Mom Talk is trying to survive. Whitney recently announced that she is not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Today, she clarified that she will be finishing filming in season 5 when cameras pick back up if they haven't already. To confirm, it seems like, who do we still have left in Mom Talk?
Macy, Michaela, Layla, Miranda,
Jessi.
and Jessi.
And Jessi.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go ahead and say Taylor Frankie Ball.
Yeah.
I think as long as Taylor's a part of the show, Mom Talk survives.
Yeah, but the question is if she's not, or even if she just kind of takes a little breather break,
Do
know?
you think they bring in kind of housewife-esque? Do you think they bring in new moms into the mix?
I hope maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, they already have done that. That's Miranda, technically.
Yeah, but Miranda was
Miranda
in the
was like a
lore.
OG. She was
That's
part
true.
Part of the original lore.
Shania was
Scandal.
kind of a part of stuff.
But I don't.
It's my
No.
impression that before the show started, that when you talk about Mom Talk wasn't limited to these few women.
No, they've told us it was like
Yeah, it was
50s
lots
or like
of
a ton
them.
of them. Yeah.
So it seems like they would have a pretty deep roster.
But I mean,
to potentially pick from.
remember the backlash Miranda got for joining. It was like, oh, you just want to like.
I mean, sure.
But I wonder if that's going to be every single, that doesn't happen for New Housewives, right? New Housewives, it's just like, oh, part of it.
It's like,
you get a new season.
You're
and
going on TV to be a housewife, but with Mormon Wives, it'd be like, oh, you're just doing this to,
you just wanna
be famous for the
profit
clout.
off
And it's like,
MomTok, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
my guess
your
is,
job.
My guess is that if you were to talk to any new housewife, they probably hear that and feel that more than maybe we see it out there.
Yeah, I guess.
I think everyone's always resistant to change. I
Mhm.
mean, every time I bring a new voice on the show, everyone's like, "Who the fuck is this person?"
Yeah.
There's a little bit of like audience hazing.
Really?
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 I do think Mom Talk can survive without Taylor Frankie Paul, though. Like, I think Jessi Draper, Miranda, Michaela, all of them, Layla have like transcended and like their followings are in the millions. Like, they pull in views consistently on their content.
I don't disagree with that. I just think it would be
Even like Macy alone, like
it would
her
be
sister.
a big cloud to like really break through, And it's just
Sure.
I think Taylor just has such a deep impact on this show and this group of women that I don't think I think they have the talent and I think there's an interest and certainly Jessi is giving.
Mhm.
But the same way we talk about like the Valley, where it's just like, no one's sad to see Jax go.
Mm-mm.
And yet I still think we're feeling the effects of him not being on the show.
But with that, I could barely get through the Valley last season. Like,
Yeah.
it was so hard to watch.
Yeah.
It was making me like physically sick to my stomach to watch. And this season isn't the most like dramatic, exciting thing in the world. Like, I'm not like waiting on the edge of my seat to see what's gonna go down in the Valley every week. But also, my body feels okay watching it, and I think that matters a lot.
I think shows need their healing periods.
Yeah. Like
Like
Whitney Rose.
storyline wise specifically.
Yeah.
Healing journeys are important if we've learned anything from Whitney Rose.
I hope if Taylor comes back, it'll be interesting what her storyline will be, because her storyline has been so wrapped up.
It's going to be her recovering from all of this.
Mm-hmm. I just hope
It's going to be her friendships. Hey, guys, were you there for me? Were you not there for me? Thank you for being there for me. It's going to be the mending of the Mom Talk friendships. It's going to be
I'm down to see that.
I'm down to see it too. I just hope for her sake and for everyone else's sake that it doesn't complicate an already complicated situation by having it on camera for TV. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I do hope that if she's back, they have her best interests in mind,
Yeah.
long term.
And I would
best
say that
interests.
for every single person on Mormon Wives. I think after this, I'm just a little like, I just want to make sure all these girls are okay. You know?
All right, well, more will be revealed. I still think we're going to get the Taylor Frankie Paul Bachelorette season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people are assuming at this point.
Yeah.
It would be more of a money loss for them not to.
I think everyone's just ready to see it. Anyways, we have Tom Sports coming up next, and you won't be disappointed.
I like rocking the headphones. Is that cool?
Yeah, I rock them.
Hey guys.
It really feels like a podcast.
What's up?
Yeah. What's up, gang? Hi.
What if we just whispered the entire podcast and did a little ASMR?
I like ASMR. Yeah. ASMR was so hot for a while there.
It was really trendy.
Yeah.
Is it not anymore?
Me.
I don't know. I think people may have gotten a little uncomfortable with it.
Oversaturated.
Yeah.
It did.
Too much of a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got so quiet.
Welcome back, Tom Sports.
Hi guys.
Tom Schwartz.
How are you?
Very happy, familiar faces. I missed you guys.
We missed you.
you.
Mama,
I know.
I'm so happy for
Two
you.
more.
Tom brought Natalie flowers.
He did. He brought me flowers. They're sitting
Aw.
right there. We should have brought them on set. But how nice is that?
Thanks for having me
So
back, you guys.
thoughtful.
Wait, Nick, did Lori predict you were gonna have twins like 8 years ago?
But she told me I was gonna have two boys,
Oh, that's right.
which I told her yesterday. I was like, very happy about the girls, but what the fuck?
I'm so happy for you guys. One time, my mom was in South Florida, and at that point, she had no kids, and she went and got a palm reading. Did we talk about this last time?
I don't
know.
think so.
But she predicted. She said you're gonna have. Oh no, she had my sister. She said you're gonna have one more boy, and then you're gonna have triplet boys, and that's exactly what happened.
Your mom had triplets?
Yeah. Billy, Bert, and Brandon. Shout out to the triplets.
Billy Burton
triplets.
Brandon.
Triplets is wild because I feel like
Triplets is
twins as someone who's about to be a father of twins, it's still feels like sci-fi.
Yeah.
You know, like
But
it's like a.
triplets is like next level.
But triplets, that is.
My mom was like this too, you guys. She's a little stick. She's so petite and small.
and how
she
did she do it?
she got a C-section. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But how did she like survive?
She's like, I don't need to walk you through the steps.
No,
More like
for
emotionally.
sure.
Yeah.
But how did she like survive triplets and having two
She's-
other kids?
She's just a champion. She's such a
Truly.
rock and an amazing human being. And she's just the best mom. I know everyone thinks their mom's the best mom,
Yeah.
but really, really, she's just an amazing human being. I don't know how she's so resilient.
Did you ever have like FOMO with the triplets where you're ever like, oh wow, you guys are leaving me out?
It is a magical thing because they have an unspoken language, like an ESP type of thing. This is very common with twins and triplets, right?
Yeah.
And they're fraternal, right? You can't have identical triplets, can you? Is that a dumb question?
I think technically they're
I have no
identical,
idea.
although they don't look identical anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
They look very different. Although they're starting to look a lot alike again.
Are they just like dyeing their hair different colors or like?
It's so weird that they're like they just turned 40. My brothers. I'll always
Wow.
think of them as like 15.
crazy.
But yeah. Man, I'm so happy for you guys.
Thanks, man.
Hey.
How's
And
being
you
a-
were just in Florida taking care of mom.
Yeah, I was just in Florida taking care of mom.
Love
and
Florida.
man, if there's any void in my life, I think we talk about that a lot in the season. It's not having kids. I never thought I would be in my 40s not having kids. I don't even have the white picket fence.
How old are you?
43.
There's still time.
I know. It's scary. That's like, I mean, we talk about that this season on the Valley. It's like I'm completely restarting my life over. My whole old life is gone. Like Tom Tom's for sale. Schwartz and Sandy's is closed. I'm not going to be a bootleg Lisa Vanderpump, which was the goal. You know, we had the liquor line, like things like I was charting in a certain direction. I was like, this is going to be my life now. And that's just gone.
Do you feel good
Dis-
about that or feel like sad about that?
What's that saying? I think I would have, I could have been happy. It's such a brutal business. Have you ever invested in a bar or anything?
No,
You
it's
guys,
never for me.
it's a meat grinder of a business and it's
Yeah.
really hard on your personal life. You inevitably drink more than you want to drink. By the way, I'm not whining or complaining. I chose to do this. And it was a dream of mine to have a bar in Los Angeles, but it chewed me up and it spit me out. You guys know most of how that story ends.
Yeah.
We don't have to.
They really did chew you up and spit you out.
Yeah.
We were chatting before, and like I had never turned so introverted in my entire life. I turned into a hermit, and that's one of the reasons I started the podcast. And I've been hosting more events and stuff, live events, like just coming back out of my shell,
You
getting
have some color.
my
And,
Yeah.
and part
Mhm.
was that partly because just like the online discourse or the criticism or just like the weight of the audience of which you've been so connected with over the years. Did it get too much almost?
yeah, it did. And like, well, my favorite part about it was the sense of community. Does that sound like
No.
a kiss ass?
No, no,
I
no,
loved
no.
like I loved being in there and meeting people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
And hearing about their stories, like, oh my God, Vanderpump Rules helped me get through like some of the darkest moments of my life, cancer, stuff like that. Like, man, we had such a rich community, and even the neighborhood was like really supporting us towards the end over in Franklin Village. But yeah, man, I lost so much money and time and energy. Like, I put everything I had into that place, and then it just became like the laughing stock of the entire internet. And everyone went online and said they found worms with mustaches in their salads.
Aw.
Anyways, we don't have to rehash that. We're gonna go. Actually, had a really good conversation with Sandoval yesterday.
Did you?
I
was
talked to
gonna
him for
ask,
like an hour, FaceTimed him, and he's just doing so well right now. It just popped in my head. It was nice. He sounded just so good and optimistic. And
Would you say your guys' friendship? I mean, obviously, it sounds like you're still friends, but do you feel like there's been a little distance created
yes,
between you two?
we took a long break from each other. I mean, SNS. Not to like. I know we've already talked about this. I don't want to do stale topics, but that almost destroyed our friendship. It really did. We took a long break from each other, but listen, it's water under the bridge now. We've worked through it. I have no lingering resentment. Can you see it on me?
You
No.
look.
No, you look great.
I told
Right.
you.
Really?
He
Yeah.
looks like he's got some. I don't know if it's the Florida tan, but like you've got some color to you.
Natalie, it's love.
It's love. You're in love.
I'm in love again.
You're in love
Like head over
again.
heels gaga.
Really?
Yeah.
Was the last time you here?
No, no,
on
no.
the
No,
show?
no, no,
What?
I don't know. Have you guys met Kiana?
No, we
No.
haven't.
Oh, you haven't. Why did I think you guys had met her? Yeah, her name's Kiana.
Not Michelle.
No.
Yeah.
You guys, can we be? I was so awkward in the beginning of the show. I'd like to make a public apology to the audience, the Bravo fan. I I've never seen myself. I was a happy shell of myself. I kind of feel like I was maybe living a bit of a double life because I was going through the motions of like being a single guy and exploring dating, but like quietly behind the scenes, I was like starting to fall in love with Kiana, and I was like, it's
What a
scary.
pretty name.
It's a gorgeous name. I call her Kiki. Hi, Kiki. I don't know if she'll listen to this, but I love her madly. She's just like
Love.
she's devastatingly gorgeous, like way out of my league. I'm just as confused as you guys. We're all confused.
Can I see a picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, in a sea of green flags, I'm the only red flag. Why would you date me?
Wait, how did y'all meet?
We had been friends for a long time. She came into like one of the last nights Schwartz and Sandy's was open, and we were friends, like casual, but we never like hung out or nothing romantic really. And then over the past like 6 or 7 months, it's really blossomed into this beautiful thing. Let's see, what picture should I show you?
Anyone?
I mean, let's see.
An appropriate one.
Oh, yeah.
Make
Uh,
sure you're both clothed.
Yeah. I mean, not to brag, but she is a model.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
But like that's like the least interesting thing about her. She's like ferociously funny. She's traveled the world,
Beautiful.
independent,
you on your
super
toes?
successful. Oh my God, she's my karma for all of my failures and past relationships that we don't have to dissect. I think she's my karma.
How long have you been together?
Like I think we're coming up on 8 months.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to Cabo this weekend.
What? To like, are you gonna propose?
Whoa.
Whoa.
I mean, you just spoiled it now.
Sorry.
Will you, Kiana?
Will you? If you're listening, Kiki.
Will you? Do you? This would actually be kind of cool.
I don't know. She might hate it.
We've never done a proposal on the show.
Wait, what would be her reaction if you were to hypothetically like throw a drink in her face?
Oh my God. Listen, if anything, she's going to throw a drink in my face and I probably deserve it. But I'm so sweet and soft now, but I think
are.
I'm a little obnoxious. And I think I've sort of finally grown out of my puppy dog shtick. Oh, my little sheepish, dopey kind of.
Can I ask, how old is she?
She's 27.
Okay.
She's about to turn 28. Yeah.
How,
But like she's so effing, she's
how
so
old are you?
cool.
You're 40,
43.
43, yeah.
You're 27?
She's, yeah.
You do the math. or-
16?
We should have been on your show.
You should have.
you didn't need the show. You found it organically, as
Dude,
they say.
congrats, by the way. It was a big hit.
Yeah,
It
really
was-
worked out. Natalie was a star.
Did you guys conceptualize this?
No, we wish.
No, we did
Oh.
not.
Which
is
We were just
such
asked.
yeah, Jen and Rebecca at Velvet Hammer were the brainchilds behind the show. See, it makes so much sense. You know, I have found, as someone who everyone's working on, their reality TV idea.
Yeah, we all got one.
We all got one.
I have learned that it's sometimes the most simplest premises are the ones that really pop. It can't be too confusing.
Well, yours is certainly polarizing. It was like, it was received just how I imagined everyone thought it would be received, but it was good.
Would I do anything that wasn't,
Yeah.
Is she gonna potentially be on the next season of that?
That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing. When you're dating someone, you care about them on a deep level. I love this person. I'm madly in love. It's like you're protective over them because it's like if you're not all the way on the show, it can be kind of scary.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm trying to be protective of her privacy, but she's such a good sport about it, and she's got such a good head on her shoulders. She's so well rounded.
How has this relationship fulfilled you in ways that maybe you just haven't been fulfilled before? Both maybe as a just through the growth that you've done, and not to just put it in any
Not to
we're not
compare.
assigning blame or comparison, but you are in this new stage of life, and obviously there's a brightness to you and energy.
Thank you.
You feel
Thank you.
you look happy and
Thanks, guys.
excited and optimistic
Chipper.
and where,
Bubbly. I'm bubbly.
Bubbly.
and at 43 years old, despite your girlfriend being as beautiful as you feel that she is, and obviously she is,
Thank
but
you.
I'm guessing that this excitement and love and enthusiasm is coming from a place of more than just looking at her,
Of course.
and how she makes you feel in this relationship.
Exactly, precisely. And listen, I hate the line, you'll see how that plays out this season, because she was a good sport and she did me a solid and she filmed a good
Okay.
amount.
Okay.
So, but she's nervous. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's like kind of getting thrown to the wolves, and all of a sudden, remember the first time you had the public scrutinizing you? It feels like a loss of control. It's kind of scary.
yeah.
But she's like,
I learned a lot of things about myself.
yeah, me too.
Well,
oh my
I,
God.
Like, oh, well, yeah, I guess my face does look like that.
Yeah, it's hard. How do you feel at this point watching yourself? Are you guys cool? Are you-
Watching myself?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying not to.
I mean, we watched Age of Attraction, and we definitely were critical of our, we're why are we standing like that? Why are we, you're hypercritical of yourself.
Your
but
posture,
exactly.
the sound of your voice.
Yes.
My God.
Yes.
Well, no, I don't know. It just feels right. That's an oversimplification, but it just feels right. And we're aligned in our values, and like we have such a good, healthy line of communication. And I don't know. I was a bit of a putz back in the day.
In what way?
I think I was. Maybe some of the stereotypes about me were true, I always resented people saying I'm spineless because I'm like deeply compassionate, and I love to. I'm maybe to a fault. I love putting myself in other people's shoes. I like to try to lift people up when they're down, even when they did it to themselves and they're dealing with the consequences of their own actions.
Mhm.
Not an apologist. Not an apologist. Right?
So
I'm looking for.
Do you feel like you've
Yes, right.
Yes.
Do you feel like you've learned
Yes.
how to stand up not only to yourself, but maybe even to a friend
Yes.
at the risk of disappointment? At the
Yes.
risk of disappointment, yeah.
Definitely.
And your girlfriend, you wanted kids.
I mean,
when Allie and I met, a lot of people will say, what could you possibly have in common? I'm like, well, actually quite a lot. And the thing we had most in common when we met is that when I met Allie, we started dating, she was like, I've lived a lot of life in my young years, and I really want to be a young mom, and I want to have children in my 20s. It wasn't like I need to have kids next week, but it was like, oh, great. I'm also, for the right person at the right time, excited and anxious to have children. And so that was a conversation we had fairly early in our career, fairly early in our relationship, because, I wanted to be honest with myself. Could this relationship work? And that was a big part of my non-negotiables priorities. I didn't want to start a relationship only to have to wait, about something so important to me.
I could. I'm totally aligned with you, because we've had those hard conversations, and we do have such a great line of communication. And yes, we talk about that on the season. So I don't know how much I want to get into it, just because I don't want to ruffle feathers. I'm on a new. Guys, what? I feel so effing lucky. It was the most organic transition ever to go from Vanderpump Rules onto the Valley. I'm already friends with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what are you guys thinking of the season so far?
It's good. Well, I said that like a.
You did.
It's good.
I like it.
Voice.
It's fine.
It's a slower
Yeah.
burn. I think I was talking to one of your
slower.
peers who felt a little self-conscious about the lack of attention we were given the Valley so far this season,
I saw that clip.
as a result of our summer house discourse.
I was just with Carl and Kyle last week. Man,
are they
2 weeks
doing?
ago.
I have
And
questions for you.
Carl's not a mess. Carl is thriving.
Carl is thriving.
Carl's
He
thriving.
has recovered.
Yeah.
I do. Can I ask some summer house questions?
Of course.
Really? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
This is cool. I missed you guys.
I really missed you.
Yeah. This is so
But to
beautiful.
answer your question about the Valley, I'm enjoying it. I really like the conversations between Kristen and Luke, and obviously it's very relatable to us. I think, we didn't have the same experience that Kristen and Luke are going through, but I think every young parent knows what it's like to transition from not having kids to that's 9 months of pregnancy and that adjustment to postpartum, and it's a different line of communication.
A lot of pathways you got to
a lot
navigate.
of
so it is
conversations you have
nice.
to have, and
It also is a lot lighter without Jax.
we like that. But I imagine though it's a challenge. I think as audience members, we talk about this a lot on the show, and as it relates to the summer house, I think and I've been no fan of Jax and certainly no supporter, but we love drama. And there's a toxicity that we want to critique it and we'll call it out, but it is what brings us in. And I think, do you feel like the cast has had to learn how to live without Jax in terms of making TV and relying on him for what seemed to be just always bringing the toxicity? Someone who comes from a Bachelor franchise is always like, oh, everyone wanted the villain to leave, and everyone would be like, oh, that person's gone. And then I was like, well, be careful, because someone else has to replace them, and they don't even realize that. Do you guys feel that loss with Jax?
It's funny, on the way over here, my car's been in the shop for like a month, and I was scrolling. I was looking at Chicks in the Office weekly reviews of shows, and I forgot what they graded the Valley, but they said the apex predator is gone and no one knows what to do. And I'm like, well, first of all, I'll give Jax a shout out, because he's been sober for 1 year and 3 months now.
Okay.
And I know he's been Mr. Work in Progress forever, but he's actually been putting in like noticeable changes. And really, I don't know from Brittany's standpoint, I don't know if she's going to be rolling her eyes, but from a friend standpoint, I got to give Jax a shout out. He's really been putting work into himself. But yes, it's weird. It was weird in the beginning to be on a show with someone that was the third person I met in Los Angeles. We lived together, for better or for worse. We're family. And yeah, it was weird in the beginning, but just watching it back, I don't know. I'm very thoroughly entertained. Aside from when I'm on the screen, I'm loving the show.
I'm fascinated with like Jessi and Michelle's dynamic with the divorce and being young parents. I couldn't imagine going through a divorce with a young child and having to watch my former partner, even if I hated him, like bond with someone else and then have to watch their new partner parent your child. And it would just be very difficult not to see red. And so I truly empathize with both of them, regardless of what you think of the characters. I'm very connected to that story. I'm always fascinated by that.
Me too. I'm so invested, and I'm like friends with all of them, but I'm watching it back. It's like I love Lacey. Me and Michelle became really good friends this past year, but like I love Lacey and Jesse's dynamic. She's also his karma.
Yeah, it seems like it.
If you were to have actually dated Michelle, do you think Jessi would have cared?
But then she would have never dated Dr. Dre.
That's
so
true.
What, can you imagine? There's a reality in which she chose me over Dr. Dre. I'm just kidding.
Could you imagine?
Just kidding, John.
What's
is that a thing?
Michelle and Dr. Dre?
Me and Michelle never had anything aside from just a platonic fun friendship.
I know.
Yeah.
The doctor.
The Dr. Dre.
Is it? I haven't talked to Michelle. I've reached out to her because I thought it was an AI generated article, which go viral like crazy on Facebook.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Did you guys get verification?
No.
I mean, it looked pretty
Google
verifiable to me. They were holding hands. So it didn't look
and
like
there
a
was
business
those Quentin
meeting.
Tarantino, rumors in the past. So I was like, maybe she just roams in elite circles.
We were joking about this. I was in Ohio this past weekend, and someone sent me a meme, and it said, Michelle has the craziest pipeline ever. Jessi to Quentin Tarantino to the honey guy to almost Tom Schwartz to Dr. Dre. And I was
So true.
just kidding if she sees
To
it. Michelle, we're just
Tom Schwartz
we're just
to
almost-
Dr. Dre.
We're obviously very fascinated with the summer house drama of it all. And obviously, everyone's comparing it to Scandival. And so like you're almost weirdly adjacently connected. I think even some of the fans have tried to blame you.
You cursed.
Because last season,
You
if people
cursed
don't remember,
everyone.
you were like, "This ain't gonna last, guys," And
I think
it's not your fault. I want you to know, despite what the internet says.
That felt like a nice Goodwill Hunting moment.
yeah,
right there.
right. It's not your fault.
Thank you.
It's not your fault.
Did I jinx the cast?
It's not your fault.
No.
I
think if it happens to the Southern Hospitality kids too, and you're there, then that's an issue.
Since you're feeling vulnerable right now and open and honest, do you feel like West Wilson has a little bit of Thomas Schwartz in him of, let's say, 10 years ago? And I have described West, who I've gotten to know. I don't know what he thinks about it these days. We've been a little critical of his behavior. I hope he's okay with it. But I've described him as kind of a weak man.
really.
And I've described it in a sense because, like, he does this whole like, aw shucks kind of bit.
I would never.
And, again, he seems like very in tune with his feelings, probably has done some therapy.
You can see it. You can tell
he's
Wes
done
is-
the work.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's this kind of new kind of guy in the zeitgeist of modern dating and pop culture where they can center their feelings and use that therapy talk. And at the end of the day, there's a level of weakness because instead of just being direct and respecting people's, they center their feelings. And you have this guy in West who kind of wanted to pretend that Sierra wasn't trying to communicate something like this, how important this friendship means to him and what this friendship was about for her, which was like a stepping stone into a relationship. And then he just kind of always focused on him. And I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he meant to hurt anyone, but I think that is a bit of a cop out for like just not honestly taking kind of responsibility for his actions. And like you kind of talked about how maybe some of those criticisms were true.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a little bit of that, or do you have empathy for West? Are you critical of West? How do you see it?
Well, I hate piling on people when they're down. He knows.
We don't want to pile on, but we're breaking it
I think
down.
there's a clear code violation, right? Ethical bro girl code violation. Like it's messed up, and you just like when you're in it, and you're feeling the feelings. You can't control how you feel, but you can control how you respond to those feelings. I wonder what those conversations, because I'm friends with Amanda and West. I still love them. I hate piling on them, but like they know I just.
Do you think they know they fucked up, so to speak?
They seemed a little defensive. Like I remember when they released the joint statements, which I didn't like. They were just in kind of poor taste. Not to pile on. I hated those joint statements, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it going the distance. Like it's almost never worth it when you know you're going to alienate or violate a friend. It doesn't it just feel jinxed or doomed?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Karma.
We were talking, I mean, what we're hearing about how Amanda and Wes might feel and how they may go about defending themselves. Amanda almost sounds how Sandoval sounded, which was like almost kind of very defiant, as opposed to like, remember back in the day and everyone's like, just say you're sorry and move the fuck on and just be like, and Tom was always like, yeah, but he always had the but. And it's just like, I have empathy for all you guys because I think, fans sometimes, we're very fascinated with the TV show. And I think sometimes, I honestly, you don't have to answer the question. I sometimes wonder, does even younger Tom Schwartz, is he really the type of guy who would throw a drink in a woman's face? Or is he just like, you're making TV? And I just kind of wonder if sometimes... Do you guys who've made careers showing up season after season lose yourself a little bit? Do you feel like sometimes you've lost yourself in not knowing when like the TV character stops and the human begins, and like were they almost overconnected in a way where and then you can't speak on things because you're not sure if you're like speaking about production in a way you're not supposed to speak on it, but you have fans coming and making assumptions, and it kind of gets clouded because that's how it felt like Tom was, where it was like, but there's this thing I need you to know, and as opposed to being like, yeah, it doesn't really matter, just say you're sorry.
Yeah, I mean, so essentially you're saying, does sometimes like the subconscious pressure of knowing that you have to bring it sort of compromise your integrity almost? Like,
sure, whatever.
Like, I don't think so. At least certainly not. I know better than to ever self-produce, because when you do, it comes off horribly and they can see it a mile away. But I'm sure at some points you're like, oh my God, because you know what works and doesn't work after being on TV for 10 years, but you don't want to be too self-aware about it. No one wants to watch someone who's overly self-aware, right? That's no fun.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's times where maybe I did have some identity crises in the past. I'm like, is that me? Is that who I am? I remember I used to get so insulted when I would do events and people would be like, you're just like you are on TV. And I'm like, don't you say that. Take it back right now. Because it's like, I thought I was kind of likable, but I'm still always shocked that people still show me so much love. Truly, like when I host events and I'm traveling, I get a lot of love. And I'm like, you guys, did you not watch the show? I was kind of pathetic.
I think what you have is like this, there's like this earnestness, at least on TV, where it's like you're making decisions that so many times in Vanderpump Rules, I was like, why the fuck are you doing that? But there's a thing where you're like, you have this like charmingness of just like, kind of what you're saying of not like self-producing. It seems like genuine that you're kind of just like, whoops. Versus like sometimes with Sandoval, I think he like his energy comes off as more of like he's intentionally doing this. And I wonder if that's it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if Sandoval's that tough.
Like it might come across that way. I don't know.
I love watching Tom on TV. I know I'm partial because I've known him for so long, but
he's a TV star.
He like gives 1,000%. I know he's working on a cool project now. I don't even know what it's about, but like, I just know he's out there giving 1,000% every day. Like everything else in his life has disappeared, and he's so immersed in that moment. I love that about him when he does a show, like on Traders and stuff. And
He was great
He's
on
all in.
Traders.
wait, what's your guys' favorite Bravo show right now?
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's just like the relationship dynamics, and I think that again, that's why I hate to say we love the scandal, but like it's easier to watch this group of friends and judge them and critique them than look at our own lives. And I think we have all, whether people want to admit it, we know what it's like to be abandoned by friends or let down by friends. We've even been the bad friend. We have been the bad partner. We have been, all these things that all these people represent in these dynamics. And that's why, whether it's the Valley, or Summer House. I mean, I think Summer House is the best show on TV that I think represents kind of modern dating culture, which I think is fascinating for me as someone who's like interested in that stuff. How's Kyle doing?
He's doing great. He's crushing it. It's like, I know everyone was so, he got a good, healthy roast when he decided to start DJing in his 40s, but I'm so happy he did. I'm so happy he didn't listen to the audience because now he's crushing it. He's selling out shows in Chicago at Tao and stuff. And it's like, it's another great way to promote Loverboy. I think Loverboy is like kind of crushing right now.
Well,
Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah.
You know, like the graphic designer part didn't really help, but
Yeah,
was Kyle and West ever that close of friends? Like if you had to guess, because I'm guessing you don't know, how do you think West justified the way he moved? Is it related to his friendship with Kyle?
Well, the love must have been undeniable, right? Because it's not just a sexual thing. He's like, I don't think he's trying to get his rocks off. I don't know if I can say that.
You can say that.
But I don't think it right?
I mean, because it sounded like he was already getting the rocks off.
Yeah. He's Wes is it's weird because I'm friends with Wes, but I don't really know exactly how he moves. Is he a bit of a playboy? A little bit, or no?
According
I think
to
he's got a bit of a roster.
it seems
He's a
from the girls
romantic.
that have sent their
It seems
screenshots
like
of their
he was
DMs to
enjoying
the internet.
being a single guy, making some money in a big city, which is like why it was like even with Amanda not in the equation, it was more like just let Sierra know it's like not happening, and stop trying to be friends with someone who's been very clear that like she wants to be friends first with the person that she wants to marry. So like stop pretending she didn't say that.
I think in trying to like be sweet, he unintentionally.
See, that's the thing.
Made it
part,
so much worse.
That try to be sweet but unintentional part. That's the part I don't buy, and I don't think he is. Yeah, he's not stupid, and you can't be that stupid and emotionally.
He is emotionally intelligent, right? We all agree that. Like Wes, Wes is pretty sharp.
Yeah.
So but he pretends to be emotionally confused. You know, and it's just not enough. It doesn't take a lot of strength to say I'm not ready for a relationship. It takes a lot more to show you're not ready for a relationship with the person who says I want to be in a relationship. You know, and I think he does the thing where it's just like, well, I'm not ready, and then he discounts the flirting and those moments where it's just like for someone who's in Sierra's shoes is looking for hope, and she's looking for a sign, and she's juggling. I've set this boundary with this guy and I'm trying to communicate, and there's no way he would listen to what I'm saying and then act that way if he didn't also mean it and if he wasn't also confused about his feelings. And he pretended to be confused, and in that confusion she found hope. And I just don't think he wasn't that confused.
Well, I don't think he's a malicious guy. Just maybe. Well, we don't have to get into semantics.
Selfish?
Careless.
Selfish.
Maybe a little selfish.
Yeah.
He's got a blooming career and he's out hustling and he's having fun, and I don't know.
But you've been friends with Kyle since
a long time, probably 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, we don't see each other a ton, but like I still consider him a very close friend. I love Kyle.
Do you feel whether I can't imagine he's asked you to, but do you feel like you have to pick sides, or does he just? Are you just?
No,
kind of
he's
neutral?
sweet. Like Kyle is very emotionally intelligent. I don't know if he always comes off on TV because he's drunk a lot of the time and he's having fun and stuff. But like he's sharp. Like he's a CEO of his business, and he's a very sharp guy. And he's just, I love what he said. Like remember they did that interview when he was on the street walking his dogs, and he's just like the first thing he said was, even in spite of this whole thing and how twisted it is, he's like, I'm just worried about Amanda because I know she struggles with depression, and like. People are ruthless online. It's scary. I remember what it was like.
It's not like, oh, hey, Amanda's making a bad decision she might regret, and we should she deserves some criticism too. Like she's a horrible bitch who deserves to burn in hell. Is like it's like, whoa, can't we just Jesus? She can't damn, she can't make a mistake.
Well, that's also the thing with like West though, and we've talked about this, is that Kyle is the one who got. I mean, maybe kind of fucked over, and then he's still defending Amanda publicly, and then West isn't actually really saying anything, and he's the one that's like.
I have a question for you, Kyle. He's gotten his fair share of criticism over the years. There's a lot of people who say, "Well, we don't really feel bad for Kyle. We feel bad for Sierra." There's no excuse for calling your wife a bitch or any woman for that matter if you're a guy. So to make that clear, but I can't help but wonder: do you think there's any truth if someone were to say, as a fan, I'm just a fan, hey, as a fan, this command of it all made me wonder if maybe, again, not to excuse what he said, but has Kyle in any way been covering for Amanda over the years where he was willing to take some relationship heat that maybe he felt even that she deserved, but he was protecting her, and now you're maybe seeing.
I've had this exact hunch. Well, I feel bad saying that because I love them both. Wait, now I feel bad. But I've had this hunch before. I don't know. I feel bad gossiping about them. We're doing a podcast. It's a safe place, right?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
safe
yeah.
place.
No
I've
one's
had
gonna
that-
hear it.
And we're not. Listen,
Yeah.
we don't think either of them are horrible people.
Not at all.
And I hope there's a path forward for all of them. And I hope this is something that she will look back and be like, yeah, maybe I would have moved differently. I have empathy for the position Amanda's in, not to excuse her, but I can just see, based off everything that's played out, how she got to this decision, whether it's a good decision or not. Like, people don't make these decisions in a vacuum.
Man, the proximity effect is a powerful thing in psychology, right? Just spending that much time around each other, like you're already pre-vetted, you feel safe,
Yeah.
drinks are flowing, not normalizing what happened with the situation, but like every show, it happens on every show. Every group, not just show, every group of friends I've ever had, inevitably,
Yeah.
someone ends up hooking up with someone in the friend group. And yeah, it's a powerful thing.
Anyways, answer that question.
Wait, so sorry, I got distracted.
Has Kyle been defending Amanda over the years in ways that we as fans didn't see?
I
or
think out of
appreciate?
respect and love for his wife, yeah, at times he didn't vocalize some things he was frustrated about, but not to excuse his
And do you
behavior.
feel like if the audience heard that, it wouldn't just be like Kyle's bullshit sad story. It would be like, you know what, he's got a point.
Yeah, I do.
Switching gears a little bit, did you watch VPR reboot?
I did.
You did.
I thought it was great.
You did.
And I've got to hang out with a lot of the cast, like Natalie. I interviewed her when she dropped her new song. I think I get it. Where were you guys at with it? I really enjoyed it.
I couldn't.
Nally struggled with it. I was,
I watched it a little bit. Honestly, like, I feel like because I watched VPR, like, I started it a while ago, and now it's also, like, weirdly, like, linked into my job and stuff, and I just have, like, such a connection with, like, that show. And so watching the reboot and also watching people, like, my age, too, be in the reboot is, like, a brain break for me, so I have a hard time with it, but that's really specific to me.
It's growing on me because I see that they have there's roots there. They have real, authentic friendships. They hang out outside of work. They're always in Sir, and they're all chasing dreams, starting OnlyFans.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, I dig it.
Okay.
I still think Sandoval could make a killing on OnlyFans.
I do too. Tom, I don't know if Victoria's
And I-
going to be down for
I
this one.
think he would go 1,000%.
He is in a relationship, so
Yeah, well, he would
It's
do it. He would.
2026.
Should-
Yeah.
It's 2026.
Sorry, my nose is running.
Yeah.
But yeah, I dig it. I like the new. I'm here to vouch for the new Vanderpump Rules, and I'm excited.
even though they were like, "Who is Katie Maloney?" We don't even know who that is.
That was a little spicy.
Okay,
That was a stray, as they call them.
that was
What?
a stray.
I think it did.
That's not all of them know, you know?
Yeah, it was an honest mistake. I
Some
don't think
people
it
are
was.
dumb.
Was it snarky when he said that? I don't think it was. Was Katie retaliated? I think.
She did.
Yeah,
She has something to say.
she shut him up.
She did. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I do think maybe it was a little snark, but you know,
I know you have to get going. We're getting the light, as they say. But before we send you off on your way, can you set up the rest of the season of The Valley? What can we look forward to?
Yeah.
Why should
Kiki.
people watch?
Yeah. Well, this is the first. I've always been in a relationship when I've been on TV, and I don't know how much of it the cameras caught. Of course, I remember everything we filmed, but like this is the first time in real time I'm falling in love. You get to catch me falling in love
I'm
in
really
real
happy
time.
for you, man.
Thanks. And I'm starting my whole life anew, which is kind of terrifying because listen, as you get into your 40s, like unrealized potential gets more and more risky, right?
Mhm.
It's just, and it's scary, but like I also just feel absolutely dialed in and more motivated than I've ever been in my life. So I'm excited about life. I think it's a really good season. It's a healing season, but I'm scared people will hear that, Nick, and think it's boring. Because
I don't
it's
think it's
not. It's just a
boring.
healing season. Like a lot of people went through a lot of traumatic things
Yeah.
Yeah.
and some dark things.
Listen, I just think that's maybe just reality TV. We have a bit of a problem. I think also just as the internet. I think we are too it's just a toxic world out there, and we're expecting toxicity. Even when we say that we don't, but I think we have to push through, and we have to watch. You know, we can't complain for an entire season how dark the valley is. and then have it become lighter, only to complain that it's boring. Like, it's like and I speak for myself. Sometimes we have to pick a lane.
I personally could watch you guys go to all seasons any day.
Wait, that's really sweet. You guys are being so sweet. Thank you for the love, and thanks for being diplomatic about it. Yeah, it's a healing season, and but there's lots of great like nuances, and I love just exploring other people's relationships, seeing them be first time mothers and fathers, and yeah, man, it's good. There's a few good, really good cast trips that I'm excited about.
Do you have a difficult time understanding Janet's point of view at times?
I do.
Okay.
It's weird because I've been friends with Janet a long time, long before, long time.
Okay.
We're friends. I love Janet and Jason. I'm catching up on all the lore, and I'm.
Oh, because she was like a fan of the show.
But
and,
we were
saw
friends. We hung out. She'll never live that down. By the way, Janet's never living. Janet the fan. No,
She kind of gives fan on the show.
Do you guys wait, has Janet been on the show? Yeah, she's been on the show.
Yeah, she's been here.
Jason too?
No.
Oh, but yeah, man.
She didn't bring them.
Listen, it's a good season. It's a healing season. Not boring. Healing,
It's not boring
nuanced,
at all.
Okay.
layered.
It's in no way boring.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I agree. I really am enjoying it. Aside from when I'm on and I come out of my shell too. I apologize for being very, very awkward in the beginning. Just watching myself, I'm like, dude, it's so hard. It's like one of the hardest beginnings of any season ever for me.
Well, it's like an old seasoned vet coming out of retirement. You gotta
he's a little rusty.
takes you a little bit to
Little
warm back up.
rusty.
I am a rescue dog for sure.
Like Lightning McQueen in Cars 3.
Yes, okay.
Tom Schwartz, thanks for coming by, man.
Love you guys.
Love you
Love
back.
you.
Anything else you want to promote? You got a podcast.
Yeah, I got a podcast, Detox Retox, every Wednesday now, not Tuesdays anymore. And yeah, we got some cool stuff coming up, and I got big dreams for the podcast. It's only been a year, but it's hard. People think you just pick up a mic and start talking,
Bro,
which,
it's a fucking grind, bro.
dude, it's a grind.
Yeah. We appreciate you. We love you. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you to all our guests, Tom Schwartz and Emily D. Baker. And we appreciate you. We will see you back tomorrow. We got Liz from Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Super excited to talk with her. We're loving the entire cast and the show. And we got a lot more in store for you tomorrow. So be sure to join us. Thanks for listening. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.